Well, next up we have a very intriguing match. It's the former world number 2 against the former world number 1 in the men's singles discipline. It's Jonatan Christie, who's been a 3-time semi-finalist here and of course won the Asian Games gold medal back in 2018, up against Kidambi Srikanth, who was the silver medalist at the World Championships in 2021 in Huelva in Spain. So this match is from the top quarter of the draw, and of course the 2-time defending champion is in this section of the draw. Victor Axelsen won the last 2 editions of the Malaysia Open. So I'm delighted to say that in the men's singles discipline we only had 1 withdrawal due to injury, and that was Chico Wadoyo. And we all send our very best wishes to him for a speedy recovery. Well, the 2 players led out by the former world number 2, Jonatan Christie, who had a wonderful year last year. There he is. He was in 4 finals from 17 tournaments played, winning 3 titles, and the 3 titles were all World Tour events. The Indonesian Masters, the Hong Kong Open and the French Open. That was the biggest title he won last year, because the French Open was a Super 750 event. Of course, this is a 1000 event, the highest tier of a tournament on the HSBC BWF World Tour. Now, as you can see, it's the 12th meeting between these 2 players, and Jonatan Christie trails Kidambi 5-6 in the overall head-to-head. But Kidambi didn't only win the last encounter, he's won the last 2 encounters. Last time, as you saw, though, was more than a year ago. It was at the quarterfinal of the Saarbrücken event, a 300 event in Germany in the autumn of 2022. So the former world number 1, there he is, against the former world number 2. 2 hugely talented individuals, and Jonatan Christie this year is seeded 6 at the Malaysia Open. He is actually 1 place higher on the rankings, number 5, but did spend a total of 10 weeks at just about this time last year as world number 2. As I was telling you, 3 semi-finals at this particular event. First was as a qualifier back in 2016, then again in 2019, and a couple of years ago as well. So to his opponent, Kidambi Srikanth, is 30 years of age, will turn 31 next month, from Ravubalapelam in Andhra Pradesh. 24 on the world ranking. That really has gone down over the last 12 months or so. His 1 week as world number 1 was from the 12th of April back in 2018. 1 precious week, and he will always be a former world number 1. Didn't have the best of years last year, the Indian player. 4 quarterfinals was the best that he achieved from 21 tournaments played, as we look at our court officials from Germany and Malaysia. In fact, the last final that this man, Kidambi, reached was those World Championship finals in Huelva in December 2021, where he lost out to Lo Ken Yu in the final. Incidentally, we'll be watching Lo Ken Yu a little later on today, playing against the defending champion, Victor Axelsen. So plenty to look forward to, and I'm especially looking forward to this match. Well, I thought he was just about ready, but he's decided still needs to towel down before the umpire calls and introduces the players to the fans here.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Kidambi Srikanth, India. And on my left, Jonatan Christie, Indonesia.
Well, no doubt there's plenty of Indonesian support here in Kuala Lumpur.
Kidambi Srikanth to serve. Love all. Play.
So the former world number one, Kidambi Srikanth, getting this first round men's singles match underway against Jonatan Christie. Steen, I was saying in the introductions there, not the best of years last year for Kidambi. In fact, he's struggled for a couple of years, hasn't he? And, you know, for a player that you and I both know is hugely talented, he loves to be an attacking player. It's a strange lack of form in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, in many ways, but I guess you could say that he's not really been able to sort of be more patient in his playing style. So that's one of the things that he needs to develop, in my opinion. But it seems like we got a little bit of fast playing conditions here in Kuala Lumpur, so that might change things in favor of the Indian. But it also puts a lot of pressure on him, because if he fails to beat Jonatan Christie in fast playing conditions, then it looks a little bit difficult for him in the future.
Thank you.
Well, he too was a semi-finalist at this event, going back to 2018. Lost out to Kento Momota. Momota then losing in the final.
2 love. Play.
In a thrilling final, if you remember that.
I do.
Against Lee Chong Wei.
That was in Kuching, I think.
Are you sure it wasn't in this arena?
I'm not sure, no.
I think it was Lee Chong
that
Wei's
was Lin
last.
Dan.
It was Lee Chong Wei's last ever tournament.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was Lin Dan who won in Kuching, I think.
Yeah.
9-all.
Oh, that's a lovely little hold and flick from Jonatan Christie.
It's over.
I think Momota had a lot to do with the struggles of Srikanth Kidambi. There was two players that had a lot of trouble handling Kento Momota when he was at his best in 18 and 19. That was Srikanth and Victor Axelsen.
2-3.
And they got some bad losses back then to Momota, who sort of were able to cope with their playing style. They weren't able to cope with his, and I think they haven't really regained that kind of self-confidence. Srikanth hasn't really regained that, because Axelsen has definitely done it. But it seems like he hasn't regained it, even though he was a fantastic factor in the Thomas Cup victory by India in 22.
9-13.
Good shot.
Service over. 3-4.
Got married at the beginning of last month, didn't he? Jonatan Christie.
Oh, it takes a lot of years to get used to that, so.
Careful, I'm going to tell Meta. That's well judged. Now, I know you've been watching the previous 3 matches, Steve. I noticed a sideways drift,
Service over.
a lengthways drift.
5.
We disagreed a little bit on that, because I think actually that Srikanth is playing up against the drift, but he can easily play it long, especially on the lifts. If the lifts get too flat, if it doesn't make the wall, so to speak, the wall with the A boards on. That's all the first 2 matches. I just feel that And they played a little bit too short. The players playing the near side here when they were under pressure. It would be consistent with how it normally is here in Marshall's Arena.
Service over. 4, 6.
And I think Jonatan Christie, he won the coin toss and chose to start on the far side of the court.
Oh, that's a magnificent angle on that smash from Jonatan
Service
Christie.
over.
My
7,
goodness me.
4.
If we see it again, yes. Watch his movement. Isn't that lovely? 2 little side steps, a leap in the air, and by the time he's landing, he's back on the move again.
Thank you.
Super play.
And it's exactly those 2 sort of side steps that suggest to the opponent that this is probably the most unlikely shot, because if you switch your leg around, then it's you would advise the players to play some crosses. You can easier get to the return. This one here takes a lot of confidence and a lot of technical skills. Oi.
Oh, my goodness me. Took his eye off that.
Service over. 5, 7.
Now, sideways drift, Steen, certainly I was watching court number 2, and the drift was going from right to left.
Yeah.
Is that the same on court 1?
I'm not sure. I haven't really noticed a lot of sideways drift. We've seen 2 doubles and the women's singles where
6,
Yu
7.
Jamin was quite dominant. So I don't have a good read on the sideways drift.
No. Oh,
Oi,
my
oi, oi.
goodness, he's completely mistimed another one
And
when in position. What on
7.
earth is happening?
I think we can say there is some kind of sideways drift there.
I think we
He's missed 2 shots. One was a total air shot, and now this one.
Oh, he
Yeah,
should have left it too.
He should.
That was going wide.
That was left to right. That also explains the missed shot in his forehand corner earlier on. Good play.
Yeah, nice follow up from Kidambi.
8, 7. Thank you.
He's so good at controlling his shots in fast playing conditions, Kidambi.
13.
Excellent, delicate technique. Loves to attack.
Service over.
Careless.
8, all. 15, 13. 14, 20.
Got the lucky net cord.
9, 8.
Immediately apologises. Good rally.
16, 13.
That's gone long at the back line.
10.
Well, here's a fun
8.
fact for you, Steen. No Indian player, no player from India, has ever won a title here at the Malaysian Open in the Open era, and the first of the Open era was 1983 as far as the Malaysian Open was concerned, nor has an Indian player contested a final.
Is that across all disciplines?
Exactly.
Wow.
So neither Saina Nehwal or PV Sindhu been in the final. And in fact, Kidambi was only the second men's singles player ever to reach a semi-final.
11-8. Interval.
After his coach, Puleva Gopichand's 24 years ago reached the semi-final here. Well, on a run of 4 straight points from a 7-8 deficit, Jonatan Christie goes to the mid-game interval with a 3-point advantage. How things can change. Only 10 minutes played.
Udah mentah dianya, ya kan. Cuman ya gitu, jaga dia kalau kamu dari sini diginin itu beberapa kali agak. Tapi kalau
Round 1, 20 seconds. Round 1, 20 seconds. Play.
So 11-8, the advantage to the number 6 seed, Jonatan Christie.
Service over. 1-all.
That's a couple of simple
12,
errors
8.
that Kidambi certainly can't really afford. There's another. Well, these last few rallies really highlighting the point that Steve was making earlier.
8.
18, 15.
Lack of consistency.
Service over. 2-1.
It's now a run of 6 straight points.
Yeah. 48.
3-1.
Fault.
Well, Kidambi simply
15,
has to stop
8.
this run of points.
20. Game point. 15.
8 straight points.
Service over.
Game.
First game won by Intalon English. 21-15.
There's another simple error.
16.
Error on the return of
8.
serve. Pushed it wide. That run of points comes to
Service
an
over.
end at 9 straight points.
16.
Service over.
And as you said, Steen, awfully difficult now to catch back up. As far as Kidambi is concerned, that one going long. Yeah, when you think
Service
back
over.
to his golden year,
17,
2017, where he won 4 Super Series titles in 1 year, contesting 5 Super Series finals. I mean, he's just not been able to regain that sort of form, has he? I mean, I know age catches up to all of us. He's going to be 31 next month.
18-9.
Aced on a low serve.
19-9. 9.
I mean, in all honesty, that's unheard of.
Four, 2, 20 seconds. 5,
Service over.
20 seconds.
10, 19.
Coach, come to your turn. Service over. Coach. 3, 5.
Just long.
11, 19 is the shuttle, okay?
Well,
Play on.
Christie wanted the shuttle change. Kidambi said no.
Second game.
He's pushed long as well.
Level 5.
12, 19.
Play.
Beautiful. Threaded it down the line.
Service over.
And
20 game
8
points.
game point
12.
opportunities.
Service over. 1. Service over. 6, 4.
Put it in the box. Put it in the box.
Contest Suniyama challenges called out.
Game.
Opening game to Jonatan Christie.
First
21-12
game won by Jonatan Christie. 21, 12.
in 16 minutes.
Unsuccessful. 1 challenge remaining. Service over.
There's the final rally.
1 all.
Wrong choice of shot from Kidambi, trying to push flat across court. Easy interception. And confirmation, 21-12 in the opening game to Jonatan Christie.
Terlalu bahaya gitu. Paling beberapa kali dia mau datar gitu, mau datar, tapi nggak ada kayak bisa variasi banget gitu. Jadi itu udah benar dan sampai tapi variasi.
sempre che sa anche gitu. Kuliah terus ya terus ya. Terus kok. Training good.
8, 5.
Code 1, 20 seconds. Code 1, 20 seconds. Second game. Level. Play.
So 1 game to the good to the number 6 seed, Jonatan Christie. 21-12 that opening game, with that run of 9 straight points from 7-8 down to 16-8 up. Really was the decisive phase of that opening game. Very interesting, I thought, in the coaching break then at the change of ends, that former Commonwealth Games gold medalist Parupali doing the coaching. Of course, his wife is here in Kuala Lumpur because she's been inducted into the legends of the Yonex company, who are one of the sponsors here at this event. Legends Vision, and she's joined the team of legends. Quite right too. Lovely to see her.
He's also
As we
stated earlier, Srikanth Kidambi, that he was looking to looking to hire a personal coach. Felt that was needed to get his game on track.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more trendy, isn't it, for players to have a personal coach?
Yeah, there's a lot of psychology in
Service over.
those things.
1-4.
That's at least what I experienced, that when you have a player as a member of a national team, then it becomes more and more common that the individual player needs to do something that makes him or her stand out from the rest. Have a different physical coach, have a different mental coach, and now also having a different coach on court.
A quick glance there of Iwansia, Indonesian men's singles coach. It's interesting, Steen, because it had been a point. Let me just watch this rally. Oh, that's a pity. There's on the mirror. You know, that if you wanted a personal coach, you had to leave the federation. That's no longer the case. You can still be part of the federation, but have an extra coach to help you as well. And I think that's a nice development.
Yeah.
It's just long. Not that it didn't happen in the past. In fact, one of the former champions here, Adi Wiranata, won the title here in 1993. I can remember speaking to him and him telling me that if he wanted to do better than all the other Indonesian players, and Indonesia basically dominated men's singles at the time, that when training had finished, he needed to go and do some more training. So he'd go off to where his father was running a club, and he would train for another hour or so with his father.
5.
Oh, the dedication of champions, you see.
Service over. 4-8.
I can see the point that, I mean, if you're like 4 or 5 singles players in a national team, whether it's men's or women's singles, and if you're knocked out of the tournament and there's still 4 players left there, and perhaps the national coach doesn't have time to go and practice with you, but if you have your own personal coach, then that can be done, and personal coach is keeping exact track of what you're doing and what your development plans are. But like all other relationships, it requires some adjustment, and that you know each other really, really well. So it's important that it doesn't become an scapegoat, in my opinion, where you fail to make the necessary adjustment to your game.
6-5.
Well, this is remarkable, from love 4 down. Now 6-5 up.
Service over. 10-12.
Just expand on that a little bit. Did you use the word scapegoat?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Sometimes it becomes a little bit too easy to say, hey, I'm going to change coach. I need a new coach because I feel my game is actually okay. That sometimes is the case. But sometimes you actually need to develop as a player. So you sort of change the relationship from the player being member of a national team and the national team hiring the coaches. Now it's the players hiring the coaches, so you have a lot of changes. You see it in tennis, that there's often a lot of changing in the coaching positions and so on. So it requires even more self-awareness by the player, I think.
Yeah, tennis is very different, though, in that none of them have a centralised training with the national team. So inevitably they do have to have individual coaches, but I do think it's a nice development in
I think
badminton.
too, but I think it's something that both parties need to get used to. It's not so easy.
Exactly, well said. he's gone off the boil again. 10 of the last 9 points. 10 of the last
That's a good thing. He's
Still
really
wake up.
coming out strong there.
10 of the last 11 points. Dear me. Oh, my maths master at school would be turning in his grave. He was actually the one that started me at badminton, you know. Mr. Hartley was the maths master.
So he thought, well, math it's not going to be, so we got to find something else.
Obviously. Thank you, Steve.
6, 10. Can you show the ball?
Sorry. Service over, 11-7 interval.
Thank you. Change. Six, 10. Play. Fault.
Yeah, now that was a faster movement
Yeah,
there
it
from
was.
Srikanth.
10.
And there was some signs of that also in the first game, in the early stages, that he was trying to up the pace, but at some points it looked like he was capable of doing it, and at some points it sort of looked as if he was getting ahead of himself.
Oh, it's cool, good. And to the mid-game interval with a 4-point advantage. Jonatan Christie having already won the first.
Play. Service over. 14-15.
Kamu bukanya berapa kali nggak ada out. Jadi jangan
Round 1, 20
dia nggak
seconds.
pernah biru gitu.
Round 1,
Jadi kamu jaga
20 seconds.
silangan juga, ya. Oke, bisa ya.
11-7. Play.
Service over. 78-14.
Oh, goodness me. Well, that was woefully short. I know it was wide, Steen, but if you're right about the drift, I mean,
Service
that
over.
was ridiculously short. Oh, look
11.
how a feather came out of that shuttle there.
Yeah.
Look where this shuttle lands.
But I'm getting more and more in doubt of the drift.
You think it's a bit swirly?
I don't know. It's difficult because it could also be because he's trying to hold back because he's playing with the drift, Christie. But yeah,
9-11.
super difficult to say, and that's also how the players are feeling in the first round of the tournament. They want to settle in. And,
Oh, that's a lovely smash. But I think the Malaysian Open is always a tournament that this man, Jonatan Christie, has always loved
9.
playing. He's had a huge success here. It's his 7th appearance. Of the previous 6, he's been in 3 semi-finals, including
good
the
statistic.
first time he played here. He came through the qualifying in 2016, and there was a famous, that's gone wide as well, semi-final against Chen Long. He was a game and 1916 up, if you remember.
I don't remember that. But,
Oh, it was a fabulous match. Chen Long then lost in the final. but that's the first time I really noticed the huge talent of Jonatan Christie.
Kidambi Srikanth challenges for
So, challenge here from Kidambi. Left arm raised by the umpire means a challenge. Right arm means that they're calling the tournament referee,
60,
usually
90.
to try and get a medic onto court to attend to one of the players. Here we go. Oh, good challenge.
correction.
Good challenge.
11-12. Play.
Oh, good deception.
Well.
12.
Resurgence from Kidambi Srikanth.
20. Match point 16.
That's one of the things that was his trademark back in 17 when he played so well, that he could play with the drift. Now again, assuming that he's doing that at the moment, but he has the technical skills to control his shots and this very dangerous steep attack. Delicate net game as well.
I think it's the steep attack
13.
that I think has been lacking from his repertoire over the last year or maybe 18 months. Now look where that one landed as well, Steve.
Yeah.
14-13.
And Kidambi back into the lead.
Match won by match. Service over. 20. Match point 9. Game.
Service over. 14 all.
This is a crucial phase, isn't it?
Match quarter and Salon
Yeah,
English.
because the momentum has swung.
On court 2, please welcome the technical officials.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh, that's a big miss. That could be costly.
15-14.
Yeah, half-court lift wasn't punished.
Netherlands.
And it might be difficult because there might be some kind of sideways drift. We've seen some strange shots from both players and some misses. So the opportunity might not have been as big as it looked.
Oh, that's a beauty. My goodness me. Left Kidambi stranded. Held that to the last moment and then just turned the racket head. Look at that. What a super shot.
Quick time.
And I recall that we've discussed that in some of the earlier years, that Kidambi very good forward and backwards movements, but more challenged when it's side to side. When I say more challenged, he's a really good mover, but when you're looking at top 10 in the world, then he's more challenged going side to side than, for instance, Jonatan Christie.
Yeah.
No.
4 straight points.
17-14.
Oi.
Oh, good recovery by Kidambi.
On court 2,
Service over.
please welcome the technical officials.
15-17.
That's a super round the head improvised shot from the former world #1.
Excellent reaction from Irvin side.
Women's single,
So,
Beautiful attack.
And back level once again.
this is Christie Gilmore,
Oh, I'm
Scotland.
jumping the gun.
16-17.
It's only 16, 17.
Yeah.
It'd be lovely to see Kidambi though back as one of the real contenders for every tournament played. I mean, the rich tapestry of men's singles that it is at the moment. Of course, lots of people will argue that Victor Axelsen is clearly the world #1. I wouldn't argue with that at the moment on last year's form, but
There's challenges.
But there's challenges, and you know, the more players are in the mix. At the elite level, of course, at the lower level, we had the 10 Super 300 events last year, the 10 men's singles titles, all different winners, 10 different winners. So there's good
16,
variety,
17.
good variation in the number of players that are winning these events, but not so much so at the elite level.
No.
Play.
Now he's back level.
17 all. It's fine.
I think if I were Christie now, I would emphasize a lot having the control of the rallies and be ready to spend extra energy, because letting Srikanth back into this match could be super dangerous.
Yeah, look at the body language after the rally from Kidambi. He knows that was such an important point.
Service over. 18-17.
There was that sort of clip over the top of the shot. Yeah.
18 all.
Let's watch the racket head and how it, that last minute sort of clipped down. There it is again. Angled attack, and 2 points away now from taking the second game. Kidambi Srikanth.
It's gone long.
Game point opportunities, 2 of them. for Kidambi.
20, game point,
Well,
18.
don't you just love our sport? Fluctuating fortunes, the ability to come back from what seems like a dire situation. 7-11 down at the mid-game interval. Now, 2 game points. It is 1 game all. 21-18. The second game.
Second game won by Kidambi Srikanth.
7 of the last 8
1
points
game all.
in the second game, won by the former world number 1, Kidambi Srikanth. That is absolutely remarkable. And we will be treated to a third and deciding game. What an excellent match. 1 game all.
ఎన్నిసార్లు ఇక్కడ సెంటర్లో వేస్తే ఆడు ఏం చేయట్లేదు. ఇక్కడ వేసాం అనుకో కానీ సుప్పాని వేస్తున్నారు. ఇంకా చేతిలో వేసాం అనుకో ఆడు ఏం చేయట్లేదు, నీ చేతిలో పెడుతున్నాడు. ఆడెక్కిస్తుంటే నిన్నెక్కడమైనా నీకే ఎక్కువ స్పీడ్ వాడికంటే.
Chord 1, 20 seconds. Chord 1, 20 seconds. Coach, return to your chair.
7, 6, 3, 1.
On court. Final game. Love all. Play.
So 1 game all. His first round men's singles, Kidambi Srikanth, the former world number 1, against the number 6 seed, Jonatan Christie. Oh, that's landed in. Yeah, that makes sense with the sideways drift from right to left.
Now, we talked about this with the individual coaches, and I think great work by Kashyap here in the second game, and of course by Srikanth. He was the one who carried things out, but I could see Kashyap keep supporting Srikanth when he was down 17-14. He was still applauding him, saying this is the right idea, that's the way to go. It's not easy, especially when you come off 4 first round losses, and it's so easy to just say, okay, that didn't work out today either. It's not certain that he's going to win it, but that comeback in the second game, that was a start to finding form again.
Yeah. And when you consider one of those first round losses, he was seeded playing on home soil at the Syed Modi 300 event in Lucknow. You know, that was disappointing for him. He's the former winner, I think, of the Syed Modi event.
9, 6, 3.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I think that Jonatan Christie has been told to up his pace of movement as much as anything.
4,
I think
love.
you might be right, that he might have gotten a little bit too confident there. And basically, things looked okay in the second game. He talked about a possible momentum swing at 14-all, but then he scored 3 consecutive points and lost 7 out of the next 8. So sometimes you get a little bit too confident.
Yeah. Oh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And he's got to score some points. Obviously, Kidambi, but he can't be too far behind coming into the second part of the third game. Christie's definitely going to have a better plan than he had in the second game.
That's gone wrong. Did you catch anything that Kashyap was saying to?
I didn't.
No.
I thought he might be speaking in English, but I think it was some kind of Indian dialect.
Yeah, that backhand net. I think Kidambi is struggling.
Pushing, being pushed in the forehand side first, and then the cross to the backhand net.
Yeah. Oh, good defense. That one.
Wait, there's another one of those.
Round the head.
Yeah, around the head, behind the left shoulder.
Yeah, he's won the rally. Well played, Kidambi.
See, he's walking towards the corner, listening to what Kashyap is advising him. He's won both the 2 rallies that he saved behind his left shoulder.
So the court needs some attention while we watch that winning shot again. So I was telling you about Indian players at this tournament, Steen, as far as Indonesian players are concerned, and specifically in the men's singles. The last winner of the Malaysian Open, Indonesian player, going back 24 years.
Yeah, I don't even think Taufik ever won it.
It was Taufik.
Was it Taufik?
It was Taufik. Beat Xia Xuanze, who's now head coach of the Chinese team. But the last Indonesian in a final was 10 years ago, and that was Tommy Sugiarto. Lost out to Lee Chong-wei. I'm not sure any player will ever beat the record of Lee Chong-wei in any tournament. 12 titles in one particular tournament. That's
I was just about to say that
amazing.
there's not so many tournaments up for grabs because Lee Chong-wei's got them all.
Yes. He was there. He was forward, and I think his pace of movement into the net by Christie forced his opponent into error. Oh, that's great placement of the smash. Wonderful. Isn't Djokovic going for an 11th Australian Open?
I'm not sure. I haven't kept track of.
And how many French Opens has
Nadal's
that?
got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12 titles. Not only have you been able to show up 12 years, but you've also won the tournament. That's amazing.
It's amazing. Most people's careers don't last 12 years.
4-8.
6 over, 7, 9. Service over. 13, 12.
Service over. 9-4.
8,
14 French Opens.
14.
service over.
I got that right.
13,
It's almost ridiculous. Excellent.
Service over. 5-9.
Well, we'll ask Lee Chong Wei to make a comeback, I think. Try and challenge Nadal.
He was sparring with Ng Tze Yong ahead of this tournament was Lee Chong Wei.
Oh, that's the angled shots that we've been longing to see.
6-9.
Good body defense from Srikanth.
Thank you. Thank you. Six, 9.
Those 2
Play.
points, Kidambi sort of changed the complexion of it now. He's sort of the one who can get himself in a favourable position. If he can score a couple of points more here. Oh, he's missed that on a number of occasions, also in the second game.
Yeah.
And in the second game, it led to him targeting the backhand side of Jonatan Christie from that corner, from the round the head corner. He should be alert to that, Christie, when they change ends.
There, I think the sideways drift came into play.
10.
Now, here is a flowing from Jonatan Christie. He needs to
8, 10.
get himself together. Started this decided game so well with a 5-love advantage.
Service over.
But it
11-8.
is Jonatan
Interval,
Christie who
3
has
minutes.
the 3-point advantage at the change of ends here in the third and deciding game.
Atau kamu dorongnya, tapi kalau di bawah jangan maksa banget kayak tadi tuh, coba maksa ya, outside. Tinggiin boleh kalau udah di bawah. Nanti kalau bisa jalan aja walaupun pendek, kosong banget. Jadi ini memang harus berani variasi tapinya ya. Jangan ke kanannya dorongnya. Oke, ayo come on. Auranya jangan kalah.
Well, it's certainly close enough that there must still be belief
11-8.
by both players that this match can be theirs for the taking.
Yeah. Slightly mishit.
8.
Wow. We hardly seemed to touch that, and that
13.
was almost on the black carpet.
Service over. 9-30.
That's important for Kidambi.
Service over.
Stop a lot of points.
19-18.
Service over. 14-9.
Yeah, but that was disappointing, wasn't it?
That's the problem trailing at the mid-game interval, that
13.
you almost have to play well from the go after the change of ends. He easily lifted long from both sides of the court, there's no doubt about it.
40.
20. Game on. 18.
Didn't touch that a lot either. Christie, one that went long.
This is far from over yet, you know.
It's okay.
Perhatian kepada para
11-40.
Anda diminta untuk tidak menggunakan flash fotografi semasa perlawanan sedang berlangsung. Your attention please. Please do not use flash photography. It is distracting the players.
Always challenging. Jonatan Christie
Senators
thinks that might have caught the line.
First game online.
Here we go. No, it was clearly wide.
Challenge unsuccessful.
Well, maybe that blows my
One
theory
challenge
about the
remaining.
sideways drift.
Yeah.
12-14.
Attention, attention. Please
He's had
do not use your
remarkably
Play.
difficulties keeping on to those 5-point leads. Jonatan Christie, 3 points leads, 5-point leads.
Foul.
That's clever. I like that reverse slice push from Kidambi.
13-14.
4 straight points and only 1 point in it.
17-14. Play. 20 seconds. Half 3.
Save.
20 seconds.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
broke the strings of his racket, but he still won the rally. And it's all level.
14. All.
2 minutes shy of the hour mark.
All.
1 game all
Play.
and 14 all.
And I think in general, Kidambi has found a really good line here where he's not in too big problems and he can survive and then exploit the opportunities in the counter-attacking game, whereas Christie seems to either overcommit or be a little bit too passive.
17 all.
Very good pressure from Kidambi.
15.
Was that 6 consecutive?
It is.
So I feel the most important thing for Christie now is not necessarily to attack, but is to prevent Kidambi from attacking, and especially counter-attacking him.
That's over.
That's careless. That's 7 straight points now.
40.
Oh, that's fast forward from Christie. Do you know, Steen, right at the beginning of this deciding game, I said something about Christie's speed of movement. And then you said, well, perhaps in the second game he'd been overconfident, maybe he'd taken his foot off the pedal a little bit. That was the sign that he was upping his speed again.
Yes, but it's too fluctuating.
Yes.
Great. That's what he's so good at, Srikanth. The way he slides that follow-up shot, the attack and the follow-up shot. True attacking player.
50.
I must say that's impressive what he's accomplished here in the second and the third game. Look at that. Christie is on the way to his backhand side. Fantastic play.
Jonatan, get ready quicker.
19, 18.
Good play.
Oh, that's me. Feathers come out of the shuttle.
19 all.
And that goes long. 9 of the last 10 points to Kidambi Srikanth. I can hardly believe it.
50.
From 9-14 down. And now a 3-point advantage and just 3 points away from winning this third and deciding game.
Kidambi.
What a turnaround.
20, game point, 19.
18, 15, play.
Ooh.
Oi, oi, oi.
My goodness. Well, the slip by Christie, but in all honesty, the shuttle had gone way past him. Hadn't read it at all.
Are you okay?
Watch this. Yeah, he's having to turn. The shuttle's gone way past him. And does the splits.
It's over.
Ooh.
20
Oh,
all.
I didn't like the look of that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, he seems to be all right. I wondered about hyperextension of the knee there, Stina.
19, 50.
Certainly made me wince. So 2 points away now from a remarkable victory for the former world #1, Kidambi Srikanth. 10 of 11 points.
It's over.
Excellent.
11 of 12 points. And one of the most remarkable turnarounds
50.
I've seen in a while. Match point opportunities for Kidambi Srikanth. 5 of them, to be precise.
Christine Gamo challenges call in.
Well, that's well saved. But is it too little too late as far as Jonatan Christie is concerned?
16, 20.
So, how much influence has the previous last first round matches? He's got to look away from them, Srikanth, and say to himself he's played well enough to win this one.
21 all. Play.
That's gone long, and indeed he has won. Kidambi Srikanth from 9-14 down. Wins 21-16 in the deciding game in a remarkable comeback against Jonatan Christie. An hour and 4 minutes. And Christie must be wondering what
Match
on
won
earth
by Kidambi
went wrong.
Srikanth, 12-21,
Well, a big part of it was that
21-18,
Kidambi started
21-16.
to find his angled shots. And there is confirmation of his victory coming from a game deficit. 12-21, 21-18, 21-16 in the deciding game, having been 9-14 down in that deciding game. Well, Kidambi will play against Nkarlong on Thursday in the second round, because Nkarlong has beaten Kanta Suniyama in 2 straight games. But he needs to enjoy the moments of beating the number 6 seed, Jonatan Christie. A remarkable match, and Kidambi through to the second round here at the PETRONAS Malaysia Open. Welcome back to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia's capital city. And it is day 1 of competition at the PETRONAS Malaysia Open. After that thrilling men's singles, we turn our attention to men's doubles. And it's a repeat of the Hong Kong Open final. It is the World Championship silver medal.